Welcome to Shiny Locked. I'm Shiny Locked, and that means I'm trapped in each region of the Paldean map, and I can only leave when I catch a shiny Pokemon in each route. There are 21 routes in total across the 5 regions, and that means I need to catch at least 21 shiny Pokemon. This is the second episode in the Shiny Lock series though, so if you didn't catch episode 1, I would definitely recommend going to watch that one first. In episode 1, we ended up catching 9 shiny Pokemon across the 7 routes, but that's nothing compared to what we face in this one, so stay tuned. I told you this episode would be harder, and I meant it. This time, I'll be racing against the clock. That's right, I've got 6 hours to complete all 6 routes. That sounds easy, right? Wrong. There are of course rules. No Herba Mystica, no mass outbreaks, no duplicate shinies, and I can't repeat the same type within each region. That means if I catch any of the Pokemon caught in episode 1, it doesn't count. Enough of the background, let's jump straight into the first area. We start the Western Province in Hilly Area 1, home to Pokemon like Larvitar, Rockruff and Pawmi. Now I'd love to get a shiny Rockruff, but I know using a rock sandwich would attract Larvitars too, and they won't count. Definitely feels like a gamble. After running a few laps, I decided Fighting type would be my best bet and targeted Mankey. This little monkey turns green when shiny and just looks awesome. It was on my list for last episode, but we ended up getting the Larvitar and I'm not complaining. Now remember, if I fail the challenge at any time, I have to give away all of the Pokemon caught so far. That means I'm definitely using the best sandwiches available. Minus Herba Mystica, of course. I set up the picnic and created an immaculate Great Ham sandwich. That gave us Fighting Encounter Power 2. Then, after circling the hills overlooking the desert, we stumble across a lone green Mankey. Out goes Breloom, and with only a couple of moves, Mankey's caught and on the team. Now I knew a quicker hunt could be the difference between winning and losing, but I didn't know how close it would be at the end. I was so excited to start the Assado Desert for one specific Pokemon, Orthworm. As the name suggests, Orthworm is a giant worm and can be found on the surface or hiding just below. Normally, Orthworm is red, but that shiny version we're after is a contrasting electric blue, which just looks awesome. When I enter a new area, I scout around for a location the Pokemon normally spawns in. This means when I make a sandwich, I should have even better odds to find what I'm after. In theory. I started the challenge with 6 hours and 6 routes. That gave me an hour for each location. Although I had a rough game plan, I knew I might have to mix things up depending on the time, and Orthworm definitely tested my nerve. On the 3rd Ultra Tower sandwich, a shiny blue head finally poked out of the sand and my patience was rewarded. I was pretty much on track time-wise and feeling very confident, but little did I know just how close this challenge could be. Second in my favourites list was Area 2. Area 2 is split up into a few parts, the lighthouse, the cave and the surrounding meadows, but this area excited me for one reason: gold. Available in this area are 2 Pokemon whose shiny forms go from dull to luxury, Cyclizer and Varoom, 2 Pokemon I also don't currently have. Now in typical style, I mapped the area looking for a place with a decent spawn of Varooms. On my way though, a perfect example of why this challenge will get harder with each area peeked through the long grass. Fluffy. Because we already caught Mareep in the 3rd episode of Area 1, this shiny doesn't count. I caught it anyway and carried on my search. I spent the next half an hour lapping the lighthouse above Port Marinada and found nothing. Time ticking down, I moved my focus to Cyclizer. Although fun to hunt, a Dragon-type sandwich turns the meadows of Area 2 into a game of chicken. Great avocado sandwich created, we worked our way around the meadows and finally came across our shiny Cyclizer. Adding Cyclizer to the team, we ended the 3rd route with 4 Pokemon, 3 routes left and less than half the time remaining. If you've made it this far through episode 2 and you enjoyed episode 1, I know you'll love what's coming up. It only gets harder from here, so hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss a thing. Also, these videos are fun but do take time. If you think I've earned it, please consider leaving a like as it really does help the channel. I was so nervous about the remaining time, but I hoped we could make some back going into Area 3. In the heart of this area sits Medali, a pretty unextraordinary looking town but a favourite for shiny hunters. Surrounded by spawns, you can see a load of Pokemon quickly by stepping in and out of town. Now I love my shiny Breloom and I really wanted to catch a Shroomish during this challenge. I knew there was a really good spot above Medali, so I tried there. As time ticked on though and my Great Cloth sandwich slipped away, I changed tactic and moved closer to town. Not quite a shiny Shroomish, but I was so happy to find a Deerling. The little pink flower gave it away and I was so excited to catch it, I actually forgot to save. Rookie mistake. Fortunately for me though, a couple of heal balls and the little Deerling joined the team, moving on to the 4th route. I started off my hunt very close to the Socarrat Trail looking for a shiny Scyther. Shiny Sizzle turns from red to a really cool green and is another favourite shiny of mine. Unlike the hunt for Orthworm though, I definitely lost my nerve looking for this shiny. Halfway through my second Ultra Potato Salad sandwich, I bottled it, losing faith in bug Pokemon. I changed tactic and flew over to one of the lake islands. I don't currently have a shiny Flamigo and I thought it'd be a great addition for this challenge. I also knew Gyarados spawned in the lake and would also be boosted slightly by a flying sandwich. This was a bit of a gamble though. Unlike Flamigo, another Pokemon on the island is flying, but mainly grass. That Pokemon is Tropius. Hands down one of my favourite Gen 3 Pokemon, but because it's grass first, a shiny one wouldn't count. With about 5 minutes left on my Great Egg sandwich, we finally closed off Casseroya Lake with our 5th challenge shiny. Before I left this little island though, I did another lap to use the rest of my sandwich and of course, I found another shiny. Unfortunately not a shiny Tropius, but a dupe shiny Flamigo added to the box. The last area in episode 2 is the Socarrat Trail. A wooded area north of Casseroya Lake, it's home to some really cool shiny Pokemon, like Forretress which turns gold, Heracross which turns pink, or what I'm chasing, a green Sudowoodo. I feel like there's an obvious trend of green shinies in this series. The focus for this location is the tree Pokemon Sudowoodo. Not only does this shiny look really cool, I also felt it was actually an easier Pokemon to catch. Because there are a lot of bug Pokemon here, using a rock encounter sandwich would hopefully make this much easier. Now that all sounds great, if I'd have thought of it earlier. Going into this area we hadn't caught a bug Pokemon yet, so it made complete sense to try and get one. I set up a picnic, made another Ultra Potato Salad sandwich and got to walking. I thought this area would be easy, but I was so wrong. Kind of. As I began laps of the trail, a smug smile on my face and not a worry in the world, you can imagine how funny it was to see a shiny Spidops attack me whilst walking by.
Hello there.
That's not a problem, I've still got loads of time I thought, so I quickly caught it and carried on my merry way, additional shiny in hand. As my encounter power went down, my stress levels went up, but this was only made worse by, that's right, another shiny Spidops. That red bug caught in episode 1 was coming back to haunt me big time. Of course, out of all of the possible bug Pokemon to be shiny, I not only got the same one twice, but also the one I couldn't use. It was at this point I pivoted to Sudowoodo. I have never been so stressed making a great BLT in my life. Clock running out, I began lapping, hoping, praying that we would find something. I knew that my time would run out before the sandwich did, and as I was losing hope and the challenge, I saw it. I instantly threw out Breloom, a Spore and a couple of false swipes reduced its health. And as the turn came to end the challenge with a heal ball, Sudowoodo woke up. As the clock hit 3 minutes remaining, Sudowoodo used Head Smash, dealing damage to itself. It knocked itself out. Panic mode. Did I save it? I couldn't remember. My head had gone. Of course I did. Take 2 and we get the shiny Sudowoodo. Challenge complete. Going into episode 2, I knew it would be difficult, but I honestly didn't think it would be this close. We got some really awesome shinies and some outside of the challenge as well. Let me know what you think I should do with them in the comments below. If you have enjoyed the video so far, please consider subscribing. I know you won't want to miss what's coming up.